Let's ignore the fact that it is definitely 100% hair washing day today, but we'll not worry about that right now. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you're already watching. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, my name is Alma. I am a baby wearing, nature loving, slightly crunchy mom of 2 under 2 living in Orkney Islands, and on this channel we speak all things business and motherhood and how we can just join them both together and have best of both worlds. Today I wanted to share the 80-20 principle or the Pareto principle. Now you might have heard of this before and that's great, but if you haven't, I thought that I would dive into this a little bit deeper and show you how you can integrate this into your life and use it in an intentional way towards getting where you want to be with your goals, or even just living your life. So the essence of the 80-20 rule is that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. And when I first heard about this, it honestly blew my mind, because it's crazy to think that most of what we're doing in our lives in a day-to-day basis is doing absolutely nothing towards the results that we're getting at the end of the day. So say if you are building a business, 80% of everything that you do doesn't matter. All that matters is condensed down to 20%. And that 20% of what you're doing is giving you 80% of the results that you are getting at the end of the day. And when you put it into those words, it kind of does sound absolutely crazy, doesn't it? So let me give you a personal example. When I first started my business, I thought that I had to do everything, be everything, post on every single platform, respond to every single person, put out content everywhere, do everything, learn everything. And it took me a while, probably about a year into my business, I finally took a step back and I was like, what am I doing wrong? Because nothing, I am moving at a snail's pace here. I have to be doing something wrong. And then it hit me. I was just doing too much. I was doing all the right things, but I was doing too much of everything. So when I took a step back and I just solely concentrated on learning how to communicate, learning wise, it was communication and business. That's all I started learning. Everything else doesn't matter. When it came to actual business tasks, all I started doing was having meaningful conversations and reviewing my advertising and type forms. Once I started doing those two things, here I am now, being able to coach other women to do the same. And it took me a year of honestly going through burnout after burnout after burnout, because I was doing so much and getting absolutely nowhere, to realize that I just need to take a step back. And then once I figured that out with a business, I could also then implement that into my life. I am somebody that I can't function in mess. I really can't. And for the longest time, even though I have a toddler and a baby, well, the baby's a baby, so I wasn't really doing this when, I've not really been doing this recently while she's been around, but definitely when I was late stages of pregnancy and having a toddler, I wanted the house to be pristine all the time. And that is just not attainable. I've got 2 dogs and a toddler, and we live in a fairly small house. It's messy. It's clean, but it's messy. And every single day I would try to do everything, 100% of the house, and it was driving me to the point of absolute burnout. I hated being in my own house, but I was in here every single day. So when I took a step back and thought, okay, what's the 20% that I can do every single day to make sure that my house looks tidy on the surface level, and then once a week I can, give it a good proper tidy and put everything in its right place. But I knew that every single night I can take Loki's toys and I can just put them in the box. It doesn't matter that they're not in the right order. I can just put them in there And then at the end of the week, I can, you know, pull it all out and put it in properly. And that was my 20%. So you find your 20% in your business or your work or whatever you do. You find your business 20% in your homemaking, in your cleaning the house, whatever you want to call it. And then you find your 20% in your self-care, because that's really important too. That's another thing. I feel like we live in a society where, you know, everything's about self-care. Your face routine has to have 20 million steps in it. Your hair care routine has to have 20 million steps in it. You have to have an everything shower every single night and put 20 different lotions on your body. No, you don't. You don't. Every single day, find what your 20% is. What's the 20% that's going to make you feel amazing when you go to bed at night? What's your 20% morning routine that's going to set you up to have an amazing day? I feel like a really good example of this is when I first started my business. We have these business sprints very often, which is where you'll get a list of tasks to do every single day, and you do those tasks every single day without failing. They're usually about 90 days. When I first started this business, I jumped straight into a business sprint, not having any idea what it was. I didn't know anything about the business really. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was learning. So I was doing the sprint on top of learning as well. And I also was reading the Minute Miracle Morning, is that what it's called? The something morning. Anyway, it's an amazing book. It gives amazing, oh, what have I just done here? It gives amazing, incredible advice. It really does. But the problem is that it's not like a one size fits all thing, right? So for the longest time, I was waking up in the morning, I was doing like 10 minutes of gratitude, 10 minutes of affirmations, 10 minutes of meditation, and I was doing like a half an hour yoga practice and this and this. My morning routine was taking like 2-3 hours. That's not attainable for me. I have a toddler. Then I had a toddler. Now I have a toddler and baby. So now my morning routine looks very different to that. Get up at 5 a.m, come through to the living room, get dressed, maybe do a little bit of yoga, some stretching, some little bits of like, you know, meditation maybe if I'm feeling that day. Don't do that every day, but you know, I'll do like something along those lines. Then take the dogs out for a walk, come home, get in a car, go to gym, come home. 7:30, I have done all of the things that make me feel amazing. And I'll also like do like my gratitude and my affirmations and my journaling, that kind of stuff. I actually do that on the journal app on my iPhone. I just record myself. And then I'll press transcript. It gives me a transcript of everything that I've just recorded. So if I want to go back and listen to it, I can. If I want to go back and read it, I can. If I want to put it on my laptop and look at it every day, I can. I can do all of that. But it takes me a lot less time. And I don't feel overwhelmed when I'm doing it. Because sometimes when I had all of this going on every single morning, I was feeling like I was drowning. I was feeling like I was facing burnout when I should have been finding enjoyment in the things that I was doing. So again, find your 20. So what is that for you? I would love to know. Drop it into the comments. What is your 20? What is it that brings you joy and peace and productivity? Figure out what your 20 is in every single aspect of your life. And then combine it all together. And that is your entire 20. That is all you need to concentrate on all of your life to get where you want to go. With your family, what's your 20 with your family? What do you enjoy doing? What you love doing with your family? Do you love sitting on a floor and building bricks for your little ones? Do you love going out for dinner with your other half? What is it that brings you joy? Put it all together, and that is the essence of your life.